Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Ringside Cinema. I am Money Mike, and today we are going to be talking about the New Day. Are they even called the New Day anymore? I don't know. Man, there's a lot to unpack about that segment, isn't there? The whole thing started, basically, a whole big celebration. They had the big box of burritos, they had the pancakes, everything about the New Day, right? Everything that's made the New Day so popular. And they start talking, Kofi and Woods, they thank the fans, and before they get into whatever they were about to say that wasn't our fault, which I assuming was going to be them belittling us or something. Big E came out. And he got a huge pop. And by the way, when I was seeing Big E last night on Raw, it made me think back to how Big E's injury literally just dates back to WWE Day 1, 2022. Super Kick Studios. There's a channel here on YouTube. Has a great video on the butterfly effect that the Day 1 2022 pay-per-view caused in the WWE and set forth the current timeline that we are on. And that current timeline also includes Big E getting injured. And, again, you see Big E, he's happy to be there with his friends again. And it really does make you wonder, if Roman Reigns didn't test positive for COVID, if Vince didn't panic and put Brock in that fatal 4-way match, which became a fatal 5-way at Day 1, 2022, does Big E even get hurt? Because you got to remember, Big E went from Raw to SmackDown after he lost the WWE Championship. So, if the plans for Day 1, 2022, which, again, I'll leave a link in the description below, but Super Kick Studios, great channel, and he had a great video about this whole butterfly effect, and it really makes you wonder what Big E's career would have been in the past couple years under Triple H if he didn't get injured. And so Big E comes out there, he says he's tired of seeing Kofi and Woods fight, and he's gonna reunite them, and he's gonna be their manager, and everything's gonna be all hunky dory again, right? Crowd pops, they're excited for Big E being the manager of the New Day, and then the saddest thing probably in all of 2024 in WWE happens. Woods starts to belittle Big E, says, hey, why are you coming back now? Why did you choose to come back now? You could have always came back, but you were too busy with your desk job. And, I gotta say, he is kind of right, because Big E, he is on these PLE pre-shows, so he's been there and in the arenas where the New Day have been, and he could have been there for him this whole time, but he's been at his desk job, as Woods put it. And you would think when Woods starts belittling Big E, Kofi's going to say something, right? Kofi's going to go belittle Woods, and then that's going to set everything off. No. WWE made everyone think one thing was going to happen, but something else completely different happened. All of a sudden, Kofi Kingston started to belittle Big E himself. And oh my gosh, the reaction in the crowd when Woods and Kofi start verbally attacking Big E. And now, mind you, Big E did say in the segment, he said he's not medically cleared yet. Woods did kind of say, like, hey, why don't you tell them the truth and say you're never going to get cleared again? So I do like that they're kind of playing off the injury, but it's also that big shock factor, right? Because you don't think the New Day is going to ever split up, and let alone, especially the way they've been telling the story the last few months, you would think that only maybe one of them, one of Woods or one of Kofi, was going to turn and go on a singles run. But both of them turned their back on their brother, Big E. They turned their back on their partner who's been injured for the last 2-3 years, however long it's been. Good Lord, it's been that long already. And just the reaction from the crowds and the expression on Big E's face, like as he's trying to explain everything, and he's shell-shocked that Woods and Kofi are saying this to him. Like, he came back to he just wouldn't come out and celebrate with his brothers, like celebrate the New Day, and then he's the one that gets belittled. Like, why? You know, it's so sad. Like, I rewatched the segment for this video, and you know, I just want to cry every time. I just want to cry again because it was so emotional, and that's why when I decided to rebrand this channel, I said I was gonna be a wrestling content creator on YouTube. I wanted to come up with a name for the channel, and you know, everybody, when it came to the Bloodline storyline, was like, this is cinema. And so I knew I wanted the word cinema in the name of the channel. But I needed something wrestling related, so I went with Ringside. So thus Ringside Cinema. And what we saw last night in that segment was pure cinema. The reaction from Big E, his facial expressions, Kofi and Xavier showing a side of themselves that we've never seen. Again, it takes the right stories, the right creative for wrestlers to find what works or for them to get into certain characters. And I think, under Triple H in this era, I think they hit on something here. And it's just a matter of creative Triple H. Can they follow through with this, right? Finn Balor had a segment with Adam Pearce. He was like, hey, I want to face Gunther for the world title. And Adam Pearce said, hey, you can get your world title match at Saturday night's main event next Saturday, in which I will be live streaming right here on the channel starting at 7:30 p.m. as we now have 2 world title matches set for Saturday night's main event. Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens, and now Gunther versus Finn Balor. I will be here live for it, my reaction, and post-show, talking all about it as we head into the new year and the Raw on Netflix. My streaming schedule will come out later this week as the Road to WrestleMania, which I will be at in person in Las Vegas. So make sure you do hit that like and subscribe button as we are on the road to WrestleMania 41. And with that said, there does seem to be a lot bigger plans in place for Kofi and Woods. Finn Balor, again, he got kind of chastised by Adam Pearce, like, hey, you don't defend your tag titles. So he said they were going to talk about it next week. And you have to think probably the War Raiders will likely win the tag titles from them. And then you have this new version of whatever New Day? I don't know what they're going to be called at this point. But whatever name they're going to go by, with Kofi and Woods, this new character look, Maybe they'll change their look around, new attires, but again, right now from this point forward, it's up to creative. Can they follow through? Are we going to get a New Day tag team title run? And that really, really excites me because we've always seen the New Day as baby faces. So when you think back to when the Usos and the New Day had their great tag team classics, now we've reversed that dynamic, right? Because now we can get a heel New Day versus babyface Usos, or Sammy and Jay versus the New Day. Maybe whatever DIY if they don't split up. Whatever's happening over there on SmackDown. But there's a lot more possibility with the New Day being heels and facing teams that they've faced as faces before, but with now the dynamic is flipped. Now they're the heels. And how it ends comes up, I think if Big E does get medically cleared, I think Big E, teaming with somebody to take down the New Day and to take the titles off of Kofi and Woods, at whatever point, like let's say SummerSlam 2025 or WrestleMania 42 or whatever, or maybe it leads to a triple threat match between the New Day. But either way, I'm excited for this change in the New Day. I think for a while now, they've been able to get by just being themselves, being baby faces. I think they're going to relish really in this role as heels. And again, heels seemingly seem to have more freedom when it comes to their characters, what they can do compared to baby faces. So I'm going to be curious to see what this looks like. Will the New Day go on another run with the tag titles? Will they try to break their record, which they already have, the 483-day reign? Will they try to do it as heels? Will they, are we going to see maybe Xavier go on a singles run? Maybe he goes after the Intercontinental title. Does Kofi try to chase the World Heavyweight title? There's so much intrigue with this that I'm excited to see what happens. I don't know, right now, obviously, we're still kind of taking in everything that happened on Raw. But right now, it's just a matter of letting creative do his thing and, well, as the internet says, let Triple H cook. Comment below, what do you guys think of the New Day 10-year anniversary segment? Were you expecting that? Were you sad? Were you crying? Comment below. And as always, I've been your host, Money Mike, and you've been watching Ringside Cinema.
Ringside Cinema, where the battles roar. Ringside Cinema, legends at the core. Tune in, feel the rush. Wrestling meets the screen. Ringside